And we are live. Welcome to the Crafty Boys, Canada and the world. Welcome. We are going to drink beer and talk about stuff.
Yeah.
What else can you do? That's about all we got.
That's it. That's
our
the limit.
Cheers, dears.
Cheers.
All right. Locke, what are you drinking, man?
Well, so I'm not drinking anything yet, but I'm about to start. And I'm hoping that this is going to be, so this is something out of left field. As in left field brewery.
I was going to ask.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a double IPA, and it's called Disco Demolition Night.
Disco Demolition Night.
When I bought this, in my mind, I had the idea of, those wrecking balls?
Mm-hmm.
Miley Cyrus on a wrecking ball?
Mirrored one.
Yeah.
Mirrored wrecking ball going fucking right the fuck through Studio 54, decimating the place.
With the naked Miley Cyrus on it.
And then I saw on the side of this thing something that I missed. Across the Disco Sucks label, somebody pasted rules. Oh, Disco Rules, does it? Okay, I have an open mind. I'm not gonna say that I don't enjoy some disco dancing. I love that disco dancing. It's a great way to meet chicks, and and when you're really drunk, that shit is fun. Yeah, whoa, yeah, disco dancing.
Burn, baby, burn, disco inferno.
Yeah, and so I'm looking at the other side of this thing. Check bottom for freshness. Generally, when I check
It's a great title for something.
Freshness is not what I tend to find, but okay. Keep cool, drink fresh. All right. All of this is sounding like it could go somewhere. Ballpark pairings, and this is appealing to me. And this I did read before I bought it, and this is part of the reason why I bought it. Ballpark pairings, Nashville hot chicken. I have no idea what hot chicken tastes like in Nashville.
It's a special thing, though. It's an actual. That's a thing, Like,
is it like Portuguese hot chicken?
An actual thing, like that you can order at a chicken joint in that region.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's smoking hot.
Smoking hot, and the other ballpark pairing is chorizo sausage. So that's all sounding appealing. Now, ingredients: water, malted barley, standard so far. Wheat, okay, so there's wheat in the mix. Oats,
trying to save money.
Okay. Oh, they got oats and wheat and barley. So this is like an Alpen of beers. They have Izaka, Belma, and Kashmir hops. They mention that there's yeast in here. Really? Okay, good to know. Who'd have thought? So let's give it a try. Let's find out what this thing is, because I have high hopes for this.
What's the ABV on that?
The ABV, it's 7.8% alcohol per volume. And once again, we have the cool mark of this is a silver 355 can with a sticker. This was this same mobile canning line that's been roving around doing all the other cool breweries. So let's find out what they do, and let's see if it's any good. Ooh.
Maybe one day Locke is going to break out the Crystal Pilsner flute.
Yeah, I don't own one of those. I should do. I had one of those specially designed glasses that does magic to, it's got the extra little hump where it, anyway.
Yeah.
Is it a jarring experience?
so to speak. Okay, I'm getting notes of grapefruit.
Is it sweet or dry?
It's sweeter than I'd like.
Okay.
It's not that fruit punch kind of hazy. But it's adjacent.
Adjacent. Okay.
Is it wheaty? Did they get the alcohol up to 7.8 by adding a lot of neutral tasting wheat? Because they don't mention any other kind of sugar or whatever else, do they? To get it up to 7.8, it'd be a lot maltier if it was just barley.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that's plausible. That could be how they did that.
7.8, that's pretty big.
I'm a little bit on the fence with this because it's again sweeter than I'd like, but the finish isn't barfy. It's not sugary.
But isn't a double IPA, isn't it normal to have a higher ABV with that?
You would hope for. If it's a double IPA, then it should be. The whole point of an IPA is that an IPA is higher in alcohol and hoppier. The idea being to preserve it the more on a long seafaring trip.
Right.
But for your modern double IPAs, so it's not bright green like your West Coast, sort of your Green Flash or your it's not piney in any respect. This is totally grapefruit is what this is.
Do you like it?
I have to decide one way or the other, and I'm going to go with yes. I could go with no, probably. I could probably make a solid argument for it, but fuck it, you know what?
Glad it's not your girlfriend. She'd be very disappointed.
This is highly acceptable beer.
Highly acceptable. Damning with faint praise. My goodness.
I mean, unlike Crafty Land, which was approved by Greta.
Yeah.
Greta.
I think this might be a little bit too ABBA for Greta.
She approves. All right, Alan. What are you looking to that?
So it's interesting that Locke here has a double IPA because I also have a double IPA.
Hey, brother from my brother.
I got mine from Driftwood Brewing here in Victoria. It is their limited edition 20-pounder.
Oh, love that beer. Yes, I'm well familiar with it.
Yeah.
How is that their latest batch?
This is their latest batch. It clocks in at 9%.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Thursdays are right off.
Yeah. So on the side of the can here, it says the field of battle is sown by the careless hands of death. That flower girl with pockets red and blue. The sky shows the furrows of cannons' arcs. The sparks lately fired. A charge of pine and citrus hangs heavy on the wind. A moment of silence. Then the 20-pounder thunders on. Not much from that. But anyway, this is the beer.
Look how pale it is.
Yeah, very pale.
Wow.
Really hoppy, like very bitter. I would love to see an IBU rating on this. Unfortunately, I can't find one. There isn't one on the Driftwood website, and there isn't one on the can, so it's not published. I'd be interested to know what it is.
How do they get it over 9%? Again, same thing I asked Locke. How do they get it over 9% without using a carbohydrate adjunct? Because you'd think if they're adding a lot more barley or whatever, it would be darker and maltier than that.
Yeah, I don't know. So the ingredients are water, barley malt, hops, and yeast. That's it.
Apparently, according to the Untapped website, it has an IBU rating of 100.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's more bitter
Yeah,
than all
and
my
it
girlfriend's
tastes
combined.
like that.
How is the pininess? Does that deliver?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
It's
yeah. You see, that's
very piney.
That's what I think I'm missing from this disco thing.
Yeah. So it's very piney, but if you're familiar with it, Parallel 49 puts out a pine beer called Mr. Needles every Christmas.
Yeah, I totally know it.
And it's disgusting. This is not this is not disgusting.
Okay, all right.
I think Mr. Needles
to get
is
more beer, I'll be
disgusting
right
on
back.
purpose. But this one is not. This one's fantastic. I
Nice.
love this.
I agree that Mr. Needles tastes like a cleaning product. I just don't mind that fact.
I have to. I'll finish it. If you give me a Mr. Needles, I'll finish it. But I'll I choke a little bit doing it. But not with this one here. This one is very piney, but it's a pleasant piney. Very strong flavor, but palatable, and really, quaffable.
Mm. At
It's
9%,
not a sipping beer.
but 9% quaffable beer is a dangerous thing.
I know, right?
We're into that, like Blue Bridge territory.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
Blue Bridge does not come off as being whatever, like 8.5%.
No. It's easy drinking and just this faintest
could
whiff of
chug it.
mosquito repellent.
Yeah.
And that faintish whiff of mosquito repellent is somehow masking, a kick your ass and beat the shit out of you again in the morning kind of beer.
Yeah. Anyway, the 20-pounder is fantastic. Only available for a limited time, so if you can get it, get it.
And show us the artwork again, because
Yeah.
that I've only ever had that in the big bombs, but look at that. That is one.
I got it. Driftwood really does very well with their labeling. Can you turn it back the other way for a second?
Badass looking.
That's a horse. I thought that was a velociraptor for a second there with an open mouth.
Well,
I actually thought it was like a hand puppet thing.
Or a Skeksis.
Drink our beer. Our beer is great.
Dark crystal. Yeah. No.
4-pack, Alan?
No. Actually, it's just single cans.
How much did it cost?
I want to say about $4.
We're having technical difficulties with the beer.
No, we're good. Look at this.
Oh, we're good now? Okay. The beer that we're drinking tonight is a creation of Julian. It's one of his babies. Oh, God, no, please. Thank you. I don't want to die today.
It's only, this is not any of your 9%.
So this beer is called
An IPA.
an IPA. There you go.
Pretty dark for an IPA, no?
Well, this is why I was questioning these other IPAs you've been drinking, which are extremely pale in color. I used 2 cans of Cooper's IPA, which is hopped malt extract. Even if I'd only added 1, it would still not be golden in color. For whatever reason, this is the way they make it, And
Did you add things to it?
of course,
And what did you add to it?
I began with the 2 hopped malt cans. I then took some of that extract along with some water, and I pressure cooked it with the bittering hops for 20 minutes, which was a combination of Columbus and Victoria's Secret hops. I find that pressure cooking the hops, which are pellets, it gives me the chance to extract bitterness without boiling and boiling and boiling forever. Stovetop boiling, especially on a burner instead of in a steam boiler, tends to caramelize the malt even more. And so I've begun to pressure cook my hops in an electric pressure cooker in order to extract the bitterness. then goes into the carboy. Before I actually added my crystal malt to the hop tea as well.
Okay.
Then the whole thing went into the carboy along with the malt extract. Topped it up. The finishing hops were mosaic on this one.
But I have to say that I'm surprised it's so dark as well, because I used to do my own brew beering, and beer.
Did you say root beering?
I did. And I used to use
my own root
I used to use the Cooper's IPA hot malt all the time, and I never got mine that color. Like mine was always, very sort of like light.
Okay.
There you go. This is malty. It came in at around 6%.
What was the cult of the result of the pressure cooked hop malts mixture that you did? Was that dark?
No.
No, that
No, it looked like
was
looked
any
like
even
green
dark, was
tea.
any even dark before it spent its time fermenting? Did it get darker as it fermented?
no.
No. Okay. So it wasn't like a John Carpenter thing.
No.
No. Okay. Just checking.
It this is malty, bitter, quite fragrant. Came in at about
looks
6%.
good.
Yeah.
And I'm quite pleased. And the cost of this, for your interest, is about 65 cents a pint.
Yeah.
All right. With the understanding that he might hit you, Shane, can you describe the flavor?
It's good.
that was a fairly
Well,
Wow.
if you were to describe this flavor, I would call it flavorful, a little woody, and it is something that I'm familiar with it because we've been brewing with malt extract for some time, and the Coopers definitely pre-hopping their malts has added a bit of a different dimension to the beer that we've been making. And overall, though, I gotta say the pressure cooking of the hops has really made a huge difference. I have not been brave enough to do it, but I now have my own instant pot.
They're a two-pot family.
We had an instant pot that stopped working. I don't know, last year sometime, and we determined that it was the pressure switch inside the pot that had fried.
Sensor, yeah.
Sensor thing, and I spent a good couple of months trying to find them. Could not find them anywhere. Instant Pot would not repair them because they just want you to buy a new one.
Didn't want to know. They were not
So
interested.
what's going on with this pressure cooking? Is this a little bit like Snoop Dogg microwaving his joints?
I didn't know he was doing that, but
You did know that he was doing that because I found this out at your place because some of yours knew Snoop Dogg.
I don't remember that at all. We were probably drinking. So, but yeah, we've been using pressure cooking for a few years now, and it makes food taste really yummy. But more importantly, the fact is we have this additional pot now that I've since repaired because I went to China and I'm like, give me your sensors, and they were like, here you go, very cheaply, and put this new sensor in, worked like a hot damn. So now it's going to become a hop machine. So
I'm trying to convince him to make a distiller out of it, but he's not convinced yet. It's a bit contraption-like. We want to make some whiskey.
Ooh.
Possibly, yeah.
It won't be whiskey. It'll be spirit until it's aged for the amount of time that it needs to age in order for it to be whiskey. But yes.
He's got you there.
You're only pointing that out because that's a government requirement in certain jurisdictions. You have to understand we're not subject to those rules in our kitchens. And when it comes dripping out of the distiller in the form of beer,
Can you pronounce it properly in Gaelic? Can you pronounce it properly in Gaelic?
Instant pot. Oh, sorry, that's not what you meant? Oh.
Right, fair enough. Enough.
So let me ask you something. When you use the Instant Pot or like an electric pressure cooker,
I have a Ninja
for-
Foodie, and so should you.
sure. If you have one of those and you use it for brewing, does it kind of ruin it for using it for anything else? Like, can you only use it for that pretty much?
Yes, you have to have a dedicated electric pressure cooker just for brewing. I found. Let's put it this way: I've got some specialty hops here. I think the Vic Secret. I think it's 20% bitterness. That's a ridiculously high alpha acid content for hops. That's crazy bitter. But I found that when I was boiling my wort on the stove with these hops, I would boil it for an hour, trying not to burn my wort on the bottom of the pot, trying to extract the bitterness. And I'm adding all these hops. And yeah, I mean, I'd get there eventually, but like I've got other lives to live. And then I put it in the pressure cooker, 20 minutes. And just a few pellets of 20% is more than enough to make my beer as bitter as we would want it. It's very effective extraction method for alpha acids, and you cannot caramelize the hops nor the wort. Can't be done because it's a steam environment.
Good point.
So basically, you could make beer in an Instant Pot, start to finish.
Well, you could if mine's 6.5 liters.
Okay.
Sorry, it's just not enough.
6.5 liters at a time is not the way to make beer. I don't
No,
know.
we already drank that tonight.
That's true.
It'd be like using your electric toothbrush as a G-spotter.
I like your analogy.
And
No,
don't forget, boys and girls,
At least you
Crafty Land, supported by.
You wouldn't be using an
No.
electric toothbrush after.
Yes.
So anyway, I have no idea how that connects, but there you go.
So will either of you boys ever brew your own again, or are those days behind you?
No, I still have all my equipment. I have been meaning to dig it out and actually start doing it again. But I wasn't really happy with the beers that I was making.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to tweak my operation.
You should get an Instant Pot.
Well, I have an Instant Pot, but I think I would need to get a different one. It might be a good excuse to get the Darth Vader Instant Pot.
I agree. I fully support that plan.
For making dark beer?
Yes, that is...
I don't think you could make a pale ale in it. Could you?
I'm sure you could. But I would make one that's dark and bitter, so bitter that it would choke me out. You know, it would be like using the Force on me. Yeah,
That's why Darth Vader does all the hop work.
Cheers to that. All right. Well, listen. I would like to suggest that as someone who is a bit of a lazy brewer, right? So I've used I know how to make all grain beer, but I don't want to spend the entire day making a batch of beer. I need to be done in the same length of time it takes me to get other things done. 20 minutes.
We did watch a video last week, the week before, of a guy who was very, very, very proud of how he makes beer. Where he would crack all the grain, like he would do everything, and it would take him.
He sparges it and
ever.
Puts it through the mash
I
tun
remember
and-
watching this, being very interested in what was going on, and then he chimes in. That guy's never gonna get laid because he had to go to his garage.
He's too busy sparging his barley.
Yes.
Exactly, but the best part was he was using an induction stove, burner to actually boil the wort, and I had never seen them really work. But it was water on the thing, boiling in, I don't know, it felt like a minute and a half.
Well,
Is it that fast?
No. I mean, I've got one. I've got a Sultan 1800 watt
His was
induction.
35.
Oh, he's got that's right. That's
He's got
right.
the
He's
big
got
one.
the industrial one.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. Yeah, you need. I don't have enough electricity for that, but of course, anything that goes to 3,500 watts on a single burner is gonna boil faster. That cool, but and bringing the wort up to the boil is an important time saver, especially if you're anything more than just a few liters. The boil time is important, right? I mean, it is. I've got other lives to live. I mean, you can like this guy Shane's talking about. He spent more time fooling around with his louder ton than he does with his girlfriend.
Yeah. sorry. I think you're presupposing a girlfriend.
She's quite louder ton. Not there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying.
Please, Alan, help recover.
So I think I'm going to have to go and invest in, well, maybe not yet, but soon, some more Cooper's malted
Goodness.
things.
They were on sale earlier in the year. I actually didn't look around Halloween. They're on sale in Halloween too.
Oh, we're talking about the
Cooper's
beer
stuff,
kits?
yeah.
Yeah, there's only one place that carries them at a reasonable price anymore, and you've got to go to a big Save on Food store.
Yeah.
They go on sale every couple of months for $15 a tin. They come with a packet of yeast, and because we've seen the closure here of Dan's Home Brewing Supplies, there's nowhere else locally really where you can get malt extract, especially bulk malt extract, at an affordable price.
So, just a question. You said you used 2 cans in that batch. Did you pitch both yeasts?
No,
just one.
it's plenty. You don't need
Why are you handing me this?
to show them the deal.
Cooper's Stout. Recommended by Greta. Thank you.
So, is that the one that you used, or you used the IPA?
I used
IPA.
I used a couple of cans of IPA.
Yeah.
They also have an excellent another excellent one called the 86-Day Pilsner.
Yeah.
Which is really good stuff. However, if you're going to do any justice to that particular preparation, you're going to need to be able to control the temperature of your fermentation, which means 4 degrees Celsius. You have to have the ability to put your fermenter in the fridge or outside.
Uninsulated or a basement that's chilly.
But here on the West Coast, outside on the front porch will do, as long as you don't have any bears around.
Yeah.
Because they will drink it.
Yep.
Which we could not bear. Sorry.
All right, boys. What else is going on in your guys' neck of the woods today?
Dane's got one.
Shane,
A bear?
what's going on?
No.
I have beer. Sorry.
You guys are the ones with the weather warning. Tell me about the weather warning.
Really?
We have
You
a
want to talk about
weather
weather? Really? It's stormy weather. Stormy weather.
Whether it will or whether it won't.
And here's the story. Too many places in BC are built on the floodplain with government approval. Newsflash, guys. Don't build below the dike.
Yeah. All right.
It's sad. It's sad. I was looking at my sister had the news on tonight, and there's a picture of a farm on Sumas Prairie where the barn is flooded all the way up to the top of the door, almost halfway up the barn, I guess, and then right beside it is the farmhouse, and it's flooded too. That's a drained lake bed. If you build your house on the high ground, you put your barn on the high ground, you farm and pasture the low ground. If it looks like it's going to rain, you drive the cows into the barn, and then you sit on the veranda and watch it rain. Duh. Come on. But no, we're going to build the barn and the farmhouse on the bottom of the drained lake bed and hope the government built the dike properly. Well, guess what? They didn't.
That's true. It did fail. I mean, yeah. The reality about all of this, though, regardless of where people
I would suggest they built it properly for 19 50s weather or 60s weather.
Well, yeah, that is definitely an argument to be made. But my thinking is that, are we going to rebuild these things properly? Is it going to be too expensive? I was talking to Alistair earlier today, and he was talking about his in-laws were coming to Vancouver, and they got trapped a couple of times on the way, and they stopped because they were unsure if the highway was actually sound, because it looked like it was moving a bit. And within a bit of time of them sort of humming and hawing at whether to go, the highway went. So, do you remember where that was?
I don't, but I will say this: I commend them for actually having the personal intelligence to have a look at the road and decide if it's okay, instead of just going on Twitter to find out whether the government says it's okay or not. Have a look at it yourself and decide. The nanny state should tell you whether or not it's okay, or how about be a little careful? Be a little careful. My God, can you imagine?
Yeah.
A nightmare, boys. It's a world gone mad.
Yeah.
Okay, so
How's
what
the
else is
Malahat?
it? What else? The Malahat? It's the Malahat.
It's always
a
dangerous.
road on the side of a mountain. It's two-way traffic right now, but it will be months before it's fixed.
Is the Malahat the most dangerous road in the country?
No
matter what time of year?
No.
Always?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Steep, drunks, frozen, raining, trees down.
Okay, look,
crazy madness. There's always a story of what's going on the Malahat.
The problem is this, and it's twofold. One is the amount of traffic on the Malahat is relatively high, but only for Vancouver Island, because for everywhere else it's relatively low. If you stop and think about the old, Canada one, not the new one, but the old one, the one that used to go in a totally different tangent up, past Whistler. I've driven on that in excellent conditions with no rain, and probably hadn't been repaired in 3 decades. That was a scary road. That looked like it was about
talking about the one that goes up to Cache Creek, and then
yeah. That was about to fall off the side of the mountain, and there was nothing encouraging it to do so. I have no idea what current state it's in, and I bet nobody else does, because nobody ever drives it. I was there because I was a tourist. Nobody would normally use that as a route.
Are you talking about the Fraser Canyon?
What?
Up the Fraser Canyon you're talking about. The old Canada,
yeah,
the old Highway 1 up the Fraser Canyon route.
That sounds right. It's scenic as fuck. Like if you want to see gorgeous fucking scenery, like hoodoos and no man's land and barrens, but with sharp verticals, like in bright red. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's amazing country. Does anybody drive that normally? Well, no.
Yes.
What,
yes.
Truckers use that?
No.
Dealers? No,
because they have the Coquihalla. Because they have the Coquihalla.
Not anymore.
But, the Coquihalla.
What I was saying. So
for what? Between when was the Highway 1 through the canyon completed? I can't remember, but until the 80s, when the Coquihalla was completed, which was an engineering marvel at the time, not recommended for the reasons we've seen 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
The Fraser Canyon along the river was the way to go, and that's where the wagon road was 100 years before that too. That was the only way through. The only way.
Okay. Yeah. But I guess what I'm saying is Malahat, okay, as compared to in terms of dangerousness, I have to imagine that on a good day the 401 is probably as bad as the Malahat on a bad day, just because the amount of traffic, the number of wrecked, burnt husks of trailers with dead cars off to the side that I've seen on that road suggests to me that you don't need bad weather for that. You just need idiots, and lots of them. Guess what? Welcome to
There aren't any
Victoria.
idiots on Vancouver Island, though, are there?
They're what?
There's
Probably.
no idiots on Vancouver Island, are there?
Oh, there's
Oh
tons.
shit! I remember the Christmas that I battled through snow to make it from Victoria to Windermere, BC, and I recall no less than 6 18-wheelers off the side of the road fallen, on their side because they slipped. So it's one of those lawyer things. Yeah, it depends. It depends. That's the answer. That's the lawyer answer. It depends.
Yeah, well, if you drive the Malahat, you'd be wearing Depends, in my view.
I was waiting for that one. All right, good. Yeah.
I would love to see a bridge built from Brentwood to Mill Bay.
That would be a bridge too far.
What have I done? Wrong movie. I remember. Do you remember?
Here's what
I
I'd
would say in the mid '90s, where the some focus group put an ad in the Times Colonist, proposing a bridge that looked like a kind of like the Golden Gate, and everyone went crazy. Do you remember that?
No.
No? Ah, man. I remember it vividly because it was in the news for weeks, and about how the shellfish were going to die and Todd Inlet was going to rise out of the ocean and kill everyone on land or something. And like it was quite I was shocked at how many people actually were horrified at the idea of a bridge along the opening there.
I think it's a lot more more highly thought of now.
Yeah.
But I think that it's the cost of it would.
Oh yeah, it's like people saying, "Why isn't there a bridge from Vancouver Island to the mainland?" And it's like, because if you were to do it, you'd have to have a toll that would cost like $600 one way. So yeah, it's cheaper for us to run a ferry system at a loss than to do that. And besides, it would have to float. It wouldn't be like a bridge that people would would
But what about
imagine a bridge to
shipping?
be.
What about shipping? Like all the shipping.
Well, yeah,
that goes
well,
through-
that's why it would have to float. Half of it would have to be a tunnel, and half would have to float. That was kind of the last time there was a big proposal about it, and it was ridiculous. Like, and people were saying, "Whoa, they built the Confederation Bridge," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, but the ocean depth there is like what, a maximum of 90 feet or something."
Yeah, that's
So-
Great Banks, isn't it?
Yeah, so where I guess at the deepest out in the strait is like almost a mile or something. So yeah,
That's awfully deep. No,
there's no way you could. That would be quite the construction feat.
That's sort of a fucked question that I've never really seen anybody properly answer about the ancient history of Canada. Is evidently because of the Grand Banks. If you look at their extent, at what point was that all dry land? And how far ago was that? I don't know if I have a proper answer to that. I don't think it was the last ice age. I think it was earlier than that. But what?
Alan,
Evidently, there's a continental shelf that extends far beyond where the continent ends now, and that's only getting deeper as global warming occurs.
well,
But
let's not get too excited about how much deeper the Grand Banks are getting as a result of global warming here. What are we talking about?
well, like a foot, 2 feet.
Which in metric is like some centimeters or something, right?
30 centimeters. Have you never owned a ruler, sir?
Yes, I was taunting those who still use. Look, I know the country went metric in '76, thanks to Pierre Trudeau.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
My
can
generation.
you can use metric for certain things, but not others. Like
Agreed. Like, for example, you can't use it for sausage.
explain.
Well, because nobody in his right mind would sell his sausage for 99 cents for $2.18 a kilo when you can sell it for 99 cents a pound. It's too expensive at $2.18 a kilo. Everybody knows that. Got to sell it for 99 cents a pound.
Makes sense. Checks out.
That's not the response I was expecting, but okay, all right.
There isn't a single grocery store in the world that wants to price its merchandise in kilos. Nobody likes those numbers. Got to go in pounds.
Yeah. We like, and I think we agree on that. There's something humanistic about the empiric metric. Ultimately, relates to things that are based on human experience rather than on the wavelength of what is a meter exactly? It was defined as the wavelength of a something or other at a certain temperature. Fuck, I can't remember. If you see a perpetrator leaving the store, you're not going to guess that he was about 2 meters tall because that's unhelpful. If he was maybe 5'4" or
How fast was he moving? Like 3.8 meters per second?
6'2", that you can reasonably guesstimate. Otherwise, he was roughly 2 meters tall.
How fat was he?
I would suggest that
How fat was the perp?
no, there's no way to put that delicately. I'll leave it alone. Never mind.
How fat was she? Obviously, she wasn't 68 kilos.
Oh my goodness.
Like I don't know what sort of psychology leads people to hold a ruler next to their dick, but if you know for sure how long your dick is, you gonna do that in centimeters? Really?
No, obviously, I'm not. A ruler won't do it for me. I'm going to need a tape measure.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So does anybody want to try and pull this show out of like the
gutter?
Depth?
No,
out of the gutter.
Gutter wall. Gutter wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So
Or Piper? Okay, good.
it's time to get high-minded. What are the aspirational hopes of humanity today? Really, what are they? What flying cars? Are flying cars still a thing, or is that just
Flying cars?
What?
This
No,
is
not
never going to happen, ever.
Jetsons bullshit crossed with
Yes.
a Blade Runner hangover, whereby we think that because there's still this massive drive to make the flying car a reality, and so the closest we've got is multicopters. So what is the vision for the future? We're gonna have a multicopter. Multicopters are gonna be flying around in straight lines because unless they're going to run into each other, that is to say, be free to fly where the fuck they like. We'll need to discover a way to make lanes so that people going one way don't hit people going the other way in the sky. All of a sudden, now we've reduced the advantage to being able to fly over everything because you need to conform to some kind of regular pattern so that you don't hit other people. Right?
I think that's doable. I mean, have you not seen Back to the Future 2? There was like skyways and lanes, floating signs and
the
stuff.
Fifth Element and others. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing.
Have you not seen Blade Runner?
In Star Wars Coruscant, it was like this planet city with like cars going everywhere, right?
Yeah. It's
So here you go. This is what's actually happening in the skies over Vancouver right now.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a lot of floating light standards and stuff. So we're doing not too bad over here. I
Hey,
mean, it's gonna happen.
Is that a taxi cab?
No, that right there. Yeah, that's one. Yeah,
No, that's a shuttle. That's a shuttlecraft.
I took this shot from my car just this morning.
Right.
You can tell
I
it's
thought I saw a
Vancouver
taxi
because of all
cab.
the overcast
Weird.
skies here. So
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought I saw a taxi cab. Weird. That's a Back to the Future 2 reference. Anybody didn't clue in?
You boys aren't drinking anymore, are you? School night?
I'm done. I'm out. I'm dry.
Oh, so you didn't buy a 4-pack? You bought one can.
No, it's
overdo
sold
it
in one
there, Alan.
can. It's
Try not
sold
to
in
overdo it there,
single
lad.
cans.
It is a school night. You see, we're not retired like you.
Ah, yes.
So I think the big thing for society is to
here we
get to the 4-day work week.
The 48 work week? What?
4-day work week.
Oh, 4-day. Okay.
That's going to be
Are
it.
you already there? Or?
I think France kind of got there, didn't they? And then
Yeah, that's why they're broke.
and then the orange vest revolution occurred, and everybody fucking threw the shit up in the air. Right? Isn't that what happened?
I don't know.
Imagine the French be left throwing their shit up in the air.
As long as you're wearing an orange vest, it's okay. To be honest, I remember reading about the vest thing, and I still don't understand what it was about. And apparently, no one else here did either.
No, I'm not invested in it either. But the thing is that I just want to know one thing. Do the French have it figured out doing hardly any work is what I want to know.
Yeah. Look, so my understanding of that was that it was kind of one of those labor movements that was genuinely, like, the fact that it was related to orange vests, I think had, what it was a bunch of people who actually work for a living, as opposed to proletariats who comment on the, state of the masses and that kind of, bullshit communism garbage. People who actually work for a living.
Garbage.
You know what? I don't give a fuck anymore because I work a shitty job outdoors wearing a yellow vest, conducting whatever it is that I fucking am supposed to do, which, frankly, I don't care anymore because you all act like shitheads. And so I'm going to act like a shithead too. And here we go. Yeah.
No, that's what I want to see is Locke out there in an orange vest blowing leaves. That's what I want to see.
So Locke, this is your mission this week sometime before the next week's show. You gotta get outside with a yellow vest, with a leaf blower, and take a picture.
I don't know a leaf blower. The kind of people who blow leaves, like I'm very inclusive, but not my thing. And I don't know. The closest to an orange vest I own is a tasteless black vest.
Yeah.
It's it's tacky. It's got skulls and crossbones all over it.
All right. So what you're saying is you're not going to Canadian Tire to get these items.
Are you suggesting that Canadian Tire has both leaf blowers and orange vests?
I'm making that suggestion to you, sir.
Well, if that's the bar for inclusion, then I don't understand why everybody wouldn't be a leaf blowing, orange vest wearing French, Republican, presumably, fucking anarchist, shithead, fucking socialist, useless ass.
Yes, there's no doubt that most people who blow leaves are Republican anarchists.
Yes.
Well, otherwise they'd be blowing something else, wouldn't they? But yeah.
Greta approves.
Greta.
I like the look on her
Um,
face when she's saying that. It's like, I approve.
Yeah, well, she called us up and she's on a video call with us. Like, I'm like, oh, excellent. All right, cool.
That's only an indication of how serious she is about this business.
That's right. She was having all kinds of fun.
She's on the spectrum. Whatever.
What the hell just happened to my brain? On that note, boys and girls,
What? You never cracked your beer yet, Shane. Let's go. I want this coconut
drink
porter.
it next. You were too kind.
Oh, wow. You tried to stay sober. That's all. I get it.
Because if I have more, I'll die.
All right then.
But on that note, boys, thank you all for watching. We've had a few people on the thing, and we thank you for coming. And don't forget, drink beer, stay healthy. Follow us on social media stuff. Sorry?
What about the comments tonight? Did you?
Oh, sorry. Did I miss them?
We had comments.
Oh, damn. I so apologize. Love and life, Lisa. I didn't realize you were there. Why? Because we got nothing else to do. So anyway, thank you. Alan, geez, man, please take us out. We'll see you all next week, next Wednesday. Bye!